The Kangaroos are back in Yorkshire, tails between their legs, all ready to spring back up. Tonight will tell, here in Sheffield. Certainly Mal Meninga and Bobby Fulton have some thinking to do after the Aussies' test defeat at Wembley. The critics' knives are being sharpened for Meninga, the captain way below his brilliant best on Saturday. So a big performance from Paul McGregor against Sheffield Eagles tonight could just threaten Meninga's test place. And with the props below par 2, there's a chance tonight for young Dean Pay and the old campaigner Glenn Lazarus to stake their claims for Old Trafford on Saturday week.
I think everybody will be looking over their shoulder. There's no way knowing that Bob Fulton would be happy with the performance, and coming into that first test I think everybody thought, well, except for maybe one or two positions, the test side is pretty much known. That's not the case now, and that's why games like the Sheffield match and the Wales games are going to be very important for some players who may be able to force their way into the side to come up with good performances.
3 Eagles who helped Great Britain to victory at Wembley, Lee Jackson and Darryl Powell, with coach Gary Hetherington plotting another Aussie downfall.
Well, it happened on Saturday, didn't it, against the odds, and obviously not many people give Sheffield Eagles much chance today. We'll be looking at carrying on where Great Britain left off.
So, fireworks off the field. Will there be fireworks on it too? It's Sheffield Eagles' first match against the Australians on a major Kangaroo tour. An historic occasion then, on a great stage. In the commentary box here at the Don Valley Stadium, Gary Schofield still hoping to face the Aussies for Great Britain, and alongside him, John Helm. John.
Thank you very much indeed. Well, it's bad news for the Eagles that their 2 test heroes, Darryl Powell and Lee Jackson, are both out with a dead leg and a wrist injury respectively. Tonight, though, does present Paul Broadbent with a big chance to press his claims for inclusion at Old Trafford in the second test. He's already in Ellery Hanley's squad. Australia field 13 men filled with the same desire to impress Bobby Fulton. 9 of tonight's squad were involved in the Wembley defeat, which has gone down rather badly at home. The referee tonight is Ray Tennant from Castleford, who had a couple of years out of the game and has come back into it this season, but regarded as one of the top officials. Wishart is going to kick off for Australia. And there'll be a few nervous Australians, I think, out there tonight, Gary.
Yes, there will be, and I say there'll be half a dozen of them looking for big performances to try and force their way into this second test.
First man on the ball there was Ian Hughes. And the Green and Gold Army back off. And generally the pattern in most of their matches against the club sides over here has been to score an early try, and that's put the jitters up our sides.
The important thing has been for the club sides so far is they've got a little bit overawed by Australia in the first 10 or 15 minutes, and they've conceded early points, and hopefully Sheffield can contain Australia for the first 10 or 15 minutes and get settled into the game plan.
Ricky Stewart conceded an early penalty there, so it does give Sheffield Eagles the chance to drive on into the Australian half. Down on the Australian bench, Andrew Ettingshausen on the left, Alan Langer on this side. Another penalty given, so Mr. Tennant early on, keen on the offside rule.
Well, Australia won't be too happy with this start, and you know, Sheffield have got to give credit there, sticking in there.
That's a little scrum half, Ryan Sheridan, a local boy. That's the line again with Hughes. And a real up and under. Again, the whistle has sounded, and Mr. Tennant pulls a man out, and it's a penalty for Sheffield, and a great chance for the home side to go in front.
He's pulled there for one of the Australian fellas, pulling the Sheffield guy back there for obstruction, and Ray Tennant there just giving the correct decision, and Sheffield with an early start of pulling points on the board.
Sheffield's kicker is David Maiko, a Great Britain under-21 international, and Sheffield Eagles lead Australia by 2 points to 0.
Well, They conceded 3 or 4 penalties early going for offside, and Fulton looked too impressed with the indiscipline.
Nice switching play to Anthony Farrell. It's a lively start from Sheffield. As I say, they do tend to get quite a few points, but it's their defensive work sometimes that lets them down, but they play enterprising rugby league. Across the line from Sheridan, and now it's Maiko. A real chance here for Paul Carr. Ball down just 5 yards out.
That's good defence there from Australia, but Sheffield are moving this ball very wide and making sure the big Australian forwards are running around, but as we can see, Paul Carr just getting too close to the touchline, and good defence from Australia.
Sheridan. Some spectators I can see are still coming into the ground, but at least they've only missed a few minutes. Kick-off delayed. Along the line is Broadbent. Scuttles through and on all fours there, getting almost up to the 25. That's nice, and a little chip through from Sheridan. Dangerous ball. There could even be a Sheffield score here. And it's not, but it was very, very close indeed.
That was a great effort there from the Sheffield winger, Linton Scott. A lovely little kick there through from the scrum half, Ryan Sheridan. And great chase, and Brett Mullins just gets there. A lovely little kick there through the Sheffield scrum half. Great chase from the winger, and Brett Mullins almost makes a big mistake there, but great chase and great pressure from Sheffield.
This eventually will be picked up by the Sheffield Eagles fullback, Brad Hayes, who is an Australian. Comes from South Sydney. Skidding along the greasy surface there was the left wing man Richard Pixley. There's Alec Thompson, he's a big lad as well, under 21 international. First time I've seen him. Carr, keen to put on a performance against his fellow countryman. Lost the ball in the tackle.
Well, the referee there seeing a hand in the tackle there, and again in discipline from Australia, and I'm sure we're going to see Sheffield, David Manco going for the 2 points.
Well, Sheffield Eagles could go 4 points into the lead.
Sheffield have started out excellently. The young kids who have come in tonight, I'm sure it's going to be a great experience for them, but they're just sticking to the simple game plan what Gary Everton set out, and they're doing a marvellous job so far.
Remember, no English side has beaten the Australians on a club side since 1978, and witnessed it. How unlucky with that goal kick. It could have been 4-0. It's still 2-0. Australia in possession. Let's just go down to Nick Powell, who's got Bright Sodge with him.
Bright Sodge, one of the Sheffield substitutes tonight. Good start so far.
Well, yeah, good stuff for Sheffield Eagles. You can see the Australians giving loads of penalties away, and obviously we're disciplined, so hopefully we're going to keep the discipline going.
Are you surprised to be holding them up so well at this stage?
Not really. We're a very good side. From what we saw on Saturday, they're unbeatable, so obviously Sheffield, we've got the players to do it.
How much of a boost did that give the camp, that test result on Saturday?
Oh, a big boost, 100%. So like Gary was there on Saturday, came back weekend and told us we can beat them if we played well, tackled well.
Thanks very much.
Well, Great Britain certainly destroyed the myth that Australia were invincible. There's a lot of mistakes going on out there at the moment. Finally, the ball is picked up for Sheffield Eagles. Again, they can make good ground here. Broadbent. Oh, he's done well again. He's a very willing runner, Paul Broadbent. Had a spell out in Australia. Carr was the top try scorer for the side this season, but the ball lost again. That's what you can ill afford to do against Australia at any time.
No, you cannot, but it just looked as though there may have been a hand in there from the Australian player, but the referee didn't see it in Australia counting attacking again.
With Steve Menzies from Manly. Smith. But they've not made a clean break at all yet, Australia.
I think all the credit's got to be taken to the Sheffield defence. They're a well-drilled outfit on defence, and Gary Hevington so far would be absolutely delighted with this performance.
Hevington, a great assistant manager to Ellery Hanley. Now there is a bit of a gap opening up, and there is danger to the Sheffield line, although another bad error really. There was no need to pass that ball. Terry Hill had done well enough over the first 20 metres or so. He should have just gone down with the ball.
He should have done, and just you know, started the tackle count again, but it was a lovely drop-off ball from Ricky Stewart, and Terry Hill should have just gone as far as possible and to set up another Australia counter-attack.
Richard Price, an elusive runner, almost found a way through there. Caught really out the neck as well. Now it's Anthony Farrell. Andy kicked through, so it should be fielded safely enough by Mullins. Now he's a very, very good runner. We saw him score a fabulous try at Wigan on this tour, and Mullins has made great ground there. If he'd have slipped that one inside, it was a certain try for Wishart.
That was a sensational run there from Brett Mullins, and the Sheffield, if they're going to make a good kick and chase game, they've got to make sure the chasers get down there, because you cannot ill afford to give Brett Mullins any room, because as you can see, he'll go 40-50 yards down the other side of the field.
He was rather disgusted by the tackle on him as well, but very, very strong and elusive runner.
It's good defence, scrambling defence from Sheffield, and I say they can ill afford to let Brett Mullins have any room, because he's a devastating runner.
Here goes Wishart, top point scorer so far on the tour, 2 tries, 13 goals, Rod Wishart, and there must surely be something on for Australia now with 4 tackles to come, so close to the Sheffield line, and indeed it's the hooker, he's in. Walters, first try of the night, Steve Walters, Australia ahead. His first of the tour. Nice moment for him.
That's a great stepping run from Steve Walters there. Lovely ball to Fairley. Dummies on the inside, great pass back. On there to Dean Pay, and Walters, lovely little step. A few dummies there taken by the Sheffield, and they won't be too happy. But give all credit to Steve Walters. Very elusive and a great try. But this try all came from the great run from Brett Mullins. And a bit of indiscipline. Steve Walters, great stepping run. Bit of poor defence on Sheffield. But a great try, Steve Walters.
Yeah, Steve Walters was bitterly disappointed to be left out of the squad 4 years ago. He didn't make it then after winning back-to-back Winfield finals over there.
Well, at the present, he's Australia's #1 hooker, and I say if these are tries to be scored, and Rod Wishart there makes the conversion.
6-2. Steve Walters along to Ricky Stewart, and whoops, he's not going to gather that, and they are having, look at this. What elementary mistakes going on out there. Nobody seems to want to hold the ball.
Well, there was a little bit of rain early before the game, and a bit of slippery service, but Australia, they're just passing the ball a little bit with pressure from the Sheffield players, and sometimes the passes aren't on, but it's still great defence from Sheffield and great scrambling defence.
McGregor's injured out of your shot at the moment as well, so real problems tonight, the Australians. The handling errors at the moment, one more made by the touring team. But it looks like the end of the match for big Paul McGregor, and that's a real blow to him. We were talking earlier about the possibility of him coming in for Meninga.
Well, that looks very serious for Paul McGregor there, and I'm sure Bob Fulton, the coach, will be straight down to the dressing room just to see how serious it is, and I'm sure it's a knee problem there, what we can see, and that's a big worry for Australia, because they was hoping Paul McGregor for having a big game and maybe taking the place of Mal Meninga or Stephen off for the second test.
So Andrew Ettingshausen, the former Leeds man, is the second substitute used. There's certainly been no sign of Sheffield Eagles caving in so far this evening. Walters, interesting ball. I don't think that Mullins is going to make much of that. I don't think that Bobby Fulton is planning a bit of a tongue lashing at half-time for his team.
No, he won't be happy with this first half performance from Australia, but I think you've got to give all credit to Sheffield. They've played an excellent game plan, they've kept very well out of the ball, and the defence has been excellent. They've frustrated Australia very much.
Okay, on to Florimo, who scored his One try of the tour so far at Halifax. Halifax and Castleford both set the mood in a sense. This side was not unbeatable as they looked against Wigan and Leeds. Sorry about that, Gary. Here now, Andrew Ettingshausen, the top try scorer on the tour so far. He got a hat-trick at Headingley. And this one hoisted will put some pressure on that Sheffield line, but oh, it's going to be a try, is it? It must be, surely. And the Australians go in for their second try, and Greg Florimo is the man who has dived over there. It's a great kick and a good finish to it.
It was a great kick there from Ricky Stewart, but it all started early with a lovely ball from Ricky Stewart to Ettinghausen. But on the last tackle, Ricky Stewart, lovely ball there. Rod Wishart keeping his eyes on it. Lovely pass around the man. And Greg Florimo, well, what's he doing on the wing? I don't know, but he's in the right position. But a great kick here from Ricky Stewart. On the last tackle, Rod Wishart keeping his eye, just jumps higher there than what Mark Gamser does, and Greg Florimo, a great try. But it all initially started from that great pass from Ricky Stewart to Andrew Ettinghausen to break the Sheffield defence down.
They kick it right up towards the lights. Well, it's a great kick. It is a terrific kick that. He slipped, and yet the ball has gone spiralling between the uprights, showing how he laughs about that. Terrific kick from Rod Wishart. His 15th goal of the tour.
Well, Ricky Stewart realising here on the last tackle, looks up, sees plenty of players for Australia out on the right-hand side. Rod Wishart jumps higher than what Mark Gamser does. Lovely take there. Great ball around the corner, and Greg Florimo in the right place for his second try of the tour.
Hill. Lazarus had made the break, and again this is the sort of run that does spell danger to Sheffield, who feel quite aggrieved to be 10 points behind. But Stewart is the danger man, obviously. Lempe, the ball inside is for Menzies, who he slipped with fairly alongside him, and we've had 5 tackles. But watch out for another Stewart kick maybe here, or a long pass. First of all, it's Walters. And here is Stewart, and he tries to do a bit of ducking and weaving and darting through, and finally space is made, and Andrew Ettingshausen is well on his way to the line. It's reversed inside, and there will be a third Australian score for Tim Brasher now. And all of a sudden they've found the gaps, and they've really punished the Eagles.
Well, Ricky Stewart's coming more into this game now. He set the play up initially with a lovely switch back to the blind side, but a great ball there from Walters, and Ricky Stewart just getting rid of a few Sheffield players. This is on the last tackle. Great ball there to Greg Florimo. And a great pass to Ettinghausen. Ettinghausen, who's got plenty of pace there, just looks inside, and Tim Brasher, where every good try scorer should be, on the inside. And a great try for Australia. But Ricky Stewart's the main man in this. He's just set up the 2 tries. Lovely ball there to Florimo. And Ettinghausen, well, maybe he could have gone himself, but looking there for his teammate Brasher, and a great try. But Sheffield will be feel disappointed letting 2 quick tries in just before half-time.
Brasher's previous try on the tour came in the very first few minutes of it up at Workington against Cumbria. So a former colleague of Ellery Hanley's. Well, Wishart's just kicked one from the other wing. Not so from that side. So Florimo's done the business, and he's now gone to sit back in the dugout. But Australia have suddenly stretched themselves into a 14-point lead.
Well, Lazarus is coming more into this game now. I wonder if Bobby Fulton had a few quiet words with him while he was in the sin bin. He's running now with a lot more venom.
Oh, look at this. The ball has been swept through to Ettingshausen. He could go all the way. He's quick enough, and the ball inside here for Hill. Hill might make it. A romp up the middle. Throws it back inside. It's still fallen on by Walters. Steve Walters, that is. I really thought Ettingshausen and Hill had the ability to get all the way. Instead, they look for a gap through the left again. If that ball had been squeezed away, there would have been no stopping it the second time. And these are dangerous moments for the Eagles. If Australia score again now and Menzies is the one making ground, they would stretch themselves into an unassailable lead, and we'd be thinking of a big score again. Walters kicks to the corner, it's got to be taken, and it is taken by Stott, but he's grounded behind his own line.
That's good pressure there from Tim Bradshaw, but I think also too Sheffield with the scrambling defence there after the initial break by Ettenhausen. Great work from Sheffield. But Walters here, lovely pass on Pay, Fairley, Ricky Walters onto Ettenhausen. You would have thought ET here was going to go all the way, but looking inside there for Terry Hill. Terry Hill's got plenty of pace, but great scrambling defence from Sheffield. Great cover and just a poor pass, but as Australia always do, great support play from Walters.
Lazarus, as you say, Gary, Lazarus is certainly having an impact on this match.
He is, he's making plenty of yards, and I'm sure Bobby Fulton's had a quiet word while he has been in the sin bin.
Fairley's got the ball inside, it's got to be a score, it's got to be for Mullins. Try number 2 of the tour for Brett Mullins, and he was in the right place at the right time, and the Aussies are really stretching themselves ominously into the lead. It's 3 tries in less than 10 minutes.
Well, Australia, with all the pressure they're having, they was bound to make sure the Sheffield defence pay for all the pressure that they're putting on. But it's great play. It's simple running around there. Fairly lovely dummy to Walters. Great pass inside to Mullins, and he's got the pace to go there. Great try from Australia. Walters. The basic run around with Fairley, the dummy there, and Brett Mullins, like every good fullback does. And great try and great support play. But Australia with the pressure, it was bound to take the toll on the Sheffield defence.
Wishart converts it. 22-2. All the twos, and Sheffield have got a mountain to climb. Well, we're moving into time added on now. In this first half, a half which Sheffield Eagles did so well in for 20 minutes, certainly. And the Australian machine just got going. So they'll be unhappy about losing McGregor with a hamstring injury. Smith's been in the wars as well. He's back out there. He was making that tackle there. And this must surely be a last opportunity for Sheffield. A little kick ahead didn't come to fruition from Mark Gampson. A great ball from Smith, but Stewart made something of it. And that's not a great one either, and Farrell will pick it up and he'll get towards the line. Oh, if he'd got that ball away to the right, there was no cover, and Sheffield Eagles would have had to have scored.
Well, Ricky Stewart just trying to be too fancy in his own 22-metre area, and Sheffield, well, Richard Price was trying to go around the outside there, but great pressure from Sheffield, and let's see if they can put points on the board just before half-time.
The fans want to see. Not got much time. We're already in time added on, so there can only be seconds before the hooter. Strifey running from Maiko, but he couldn't find a gap. And there goes the hooter. The Kangaroos are well on course for their 6th win on the John Smith Tour here. They've rattled up 4 tries after a hesitant start. Sheffield's only points have come from a Maiko penalty. But we're really looking forward to the second half here at the Don Valley Stadium. It's 22-2 to Australia. Join us for the second half after the break. Hello again, welcome back to the Don Valley Stadium. Here come the Sheffield Eagles, 22-2 down at the start of the second half. Let's hear from their managing coach, Gary Hetherington, with Nick.
Gary, very satisfied, I would have thought, up to the last quarter hour of the first half.
Yeah, we made a good start to the game, and overall a lot of good things came out of the first half. Obviously their extra pace and class and strength created them some tries, but we've competed quite well for 40. But the next 40 is certainly going to be a long one for us. Quite a number of injuries, unfortunately, and just looking upon the boys to hang on in there.
You sound a bit worried.
Well, yes, they've some quality performers, and as I say, we're struggling a bit now, but there's certainly plenty of spirit in the next 40.
Thanks very much indeed.
Yes, well, the news about the injuries, I've heard that Paul Broadbent has a suspected fracture of the left wrist, and that's a big blow for him on the fridge of the Great Britain side. He was the top tackler in the first half. We'll bring you the statistics in a moment of that half, and straight away Lazarus in the thick of things for Australia in the opening seconds of the second half. 22-2 the scoreline to the Kangaroos. Oh, and the break is made by Fairley, and he's got support, and this might well be... No, Hill is taken by the ankle. I was going to say it might well be a first-minute try in the second half. That's just what Sheffield don't want. It might still be. And Stewart throws that longer ball for Kevin Walters. Acting half-back is Steve Walters. Stewart, the inside ball for Menzies, who scored in the opening 2 matches of the tour. The last tackle, though, so Stewart may kick, or yes, he will. He might have just kicked it a little bit too far. Farrell takes it. And play resumes again on the 25. Got Paul Broadbent there, disconsolate, I'm sure. With an ice pack applied to that left wrist. Can't imagine we'll see him back in the action. On the other hand, the fact that he's out there suggests that if need be, maybe he will come on, who knows. Well, in the first half, the whistle never seemed to stop in the opening minutes, and we've had a couple of infringements straight away in this half. Well, let's hear from Paul Broadbent to see how bad that damage is. Nick?
Thanks, John. Paul, what's the extent of that injury?
Well, it's suspected broken thumb, isn't it? So all I can do is hope that it's a bad sprain.
How did it happen?
Just knocked it up and tackle, that's all.
What's the spirit of the lads in the dressing room? Because you've done so well for the first 25 minutes.
It's been really good. We've showed that we can compete with them. It's just little lapses, you know. They've caught us 3 or 4 times on last tackle, and we've been getting set up for them putting a kick in. All we can do is just hang in there.
Thanks very much. Hope it's not too bad. Cheers.
Sorry to interrupt Paul and Nick, but Dean Pay's just scampered over for the 5th Australian try, and a simple one it was too.
Yeah, it was pretty simple, and young pair, they're very excited, but Sheffield just missing the first of tackles, and they've just got to keep that spirit going. Here we are, Walters just switching the play there to Ricky Stewart. Lovely ball, and the Sheffield number 6, David Michael, just dropping over the tackle, and he can't go high against a prop forward in the class of Dean Pay. We are Ricky Stewart, lovely ball there, Dean Pay coming on at pace. David Michael just dropping off the tackle, and once he sees the whitewash, there's no stopping Dean Payne. Australia started out very well, and hopefully Sheffield could just hang in there, and it's not going to be an embarrassing score.
Wishart getting plenty of target practice. With that style of his, chipping the ball up, it's drifted wide of the right-hand upright. So 26 points to 2 it is. Let's hear from Nick again.
John, dramatic news from the Australian dressing room. We saw Paul McGregor limp off with that hamstring injury in the first half, and the news is that he is likely to be out for 3 to 4 weeks, and that, of course, really effectively rules him out of the rest of the Test series, and that, ironically, could be very good news for Mal Meninga.
Thank you, Nick. Very bad news, conversely, obviously, for Paul McGregor. Disappointment for him. He's just had the 1 test in his career against France. Big win that day. He's obviously not going to figure out, I would have thought, now in the tour.
No, very disappointing for Paul McGregor, but people are writing Mal Meninga off, and having known Mal for many years and played against him, when the back's to the wall, you know, Big Mal always plays in the big games and puts in big performances, so don't write off Mal Meninga just as yet.
Good point, and here they come sweeping the ball along the line. They really do look in trouble at the back now, Sheffield Eagles. They brought on 2 substitutes for this second half in Carl Randall and Alan Boothroyd to try and stem the tide. This man leads them forward, Australia again. Stewart, and he timed that beautifully. And Ettingshausen is in, over in the corner, juggled with the ball, but it's stuck all right in the end. And he tees over for his 6th try of the tour.
All the Australian tries are coming across the forward to make him plenty hard, but Ricky Stewart, he's had a hand in the last Australian 5 tries. Great weaving run there. Fairley, Ettingshausen, lovely juggling there. Ettinghausen knows the way to try, and a great try. But Sheffield, with the inexperience they've got with the young fellas, just can't hold on to this Australian pack. Ricky Stewart dancing around, just the Sheffield players holding off. Great pass there to Fairley, and Ettinghausen, where to get a job in the circus anyway, wouldn't he, with that sort of juggling. But a great try again from Australia.
He's just 3 days away from his 29th birthday. Yeah, he had a great stint with the Headingley club 6 years ago. And I think that Gary Hetherington must be very fearful about the final tally that the Australians could mount. So here goes Wishart. Hoping it'll curl in. And he's aimed it well, and it's high. Hoisted straight through the middle. There's a couple of excellent kicks on the night from Rod Wishart. He's got a good boot on him. And he's successful again, and it's 32-2.
It is. Well, Australian forwards here are just running round Sheffield, but Ricky Stewart, once the initial breaks being made by the forwards, great ball to Fairley, and Ettinghausen, well, the great skills this man's got, and the only one way he knows, and that's to the try line. Great try for Australia.
And that's David Maiko's knee. As you can see, the bandage already applied, so many players tonight coming off rather badly. Injuries all over, with McGregor having gone off with a hamstring injury. Broadbent with that possible broken thumb that we heard about. Offside given against Australia out there.
I'm sure Gary Hetherington, with the injuries, had his game a bit more worried about the players he's going to lose for the First Division game come this weekend.
Here's points ultimately of great importance to Sheffield Eagles. This is the icing on the cake, isn't it, for them, this sort of a match. There's one of the substitutes there, the born figure of Carl Randall. There he is at acting half-back. The reverse ball is for Farrell. He is a key member of the pack. Carr. The big man Carr scores a lot of tries. He's got half a dozen this season already. And he'd be one that they'll be looking to get to that Australian line. Here's the other Australian in the home side, Brad Hayes. Spells at Doncaster and Rydale York before coming here. Last tackle, so that's why the kick is through there. Good pick up from Wishart. The news is that Maiko has a twisted knee, but he's hoping to be all right for the weekend. Here's this man Mullins. He's going to get there all the way, I'm sure. Mullins isn't stoppable when he gets into that mood. Terrific run, great score. Brett Mullins' second try of the night, and it's the best try of the night.
It is the best try of the night, and Brett Mullins just doing it with ease. The Sheffield defence just hanging off there. Here we see Walters just finding his brother Kevin, and Mullins just stepping on the inside of foul, and he's just putting the gas in. Brett Sodgy just coming across there, but look at the ease that he's just going down there, just gliding down, and he knows only one way to go, and that's to try him. But Brett Mullins, what a great athlete.
The Rolls Royce, this one.
That's a sensational try. He just goes around Brad Sodgy, and Brad Sodgy, he must be one of the quickest men in the game as well. But Mullins there, just in full stride, just cruising over the try line. And a great try for Brett Mullins.
He really does make it look so easy. So 3 tries for him, and that's the electronic scoreboard here. Very graphic, and it's great facility that at the Don Valley Stadium. They all enjoy that sort of thing. Wishart. And that might well be 5 for him on the night. Up go the flags again. And he's got his eye in. 38-2. There's a long way to go in the match.
Well, Australia just throwing this ball out wide, and even on the second tackle they're taking the chances, and Brett Mullins just going around Bright Sodgy makes it half a chance to get back to him, but once Mullins is in this sort of pace, in this sort of form, it's very hard to stop.
So Mullins is off, but I'm sure it's a rapturous ovation from the Australian fans here. They're much happier with the performance. in the second half. So Wendell Sailor's on. Dean Paisley. Greg Florimo's back on for Pay. I wonder if we're going to get a Sailor special tonight. He's scored some good tries on this tour. The result of academic interest now, but let's look at the Australians in full flight, and here is Florimo, here is Menzies, and the ball inside superbly taken by Smith, but it's forward. And that's a shame for him, because that would have been his first try of the tour, Jason Smith.
Oh, well, that was a great play from Australia, and Ricky Stewart once again involved. Florimo straight through the gap fairly, but just Jason Smith running over the ball, and the referee greatly positioned and giving the correct one in the forward pass.
Another Sheffield player's going off with injury. They really have had their problems here this evening. This is Alec Thompson going into the blood bin, replaced by Carl Briggs. Paul Carey's gone off. Sheffield are finding it extremely difficult to make any headway now. They really are coming off second best in the pack.
Well, this Australian defence is just totally getting on top now, and Sheffield are making no headways, and just a bit of a panic kick in here.
Watch for Sailor to go now, the ball into his arms, and this is the situation he loves, to run at the opposition, and he's got that ball away. He's used his strength. Here is Hill. Was Fairley. This is Ricky Stewart, held up this time by Farrell. Again, it's Florimo involved, and he makes good yardage, and he gets the ball away for Fairley. And he sends a try on the board every time they get to within the 10 or 12 yards of that Sheffield line. You really feel they're going to find a way through. Stewart had to stop there. It would have been a forward pass. It's inside here for Menzies, and Menzies might score. Menzies over another Australian score for this big lad, Steve Menzies from Manly. His third of the tour, good moment for him.
Steve Menzies is looking for a place in the second test, but two lovely balls from here. First of all from Ricky Stewart. Half a little doing there. Walters sees the Sheffield defence come up very quickly and sees the second row Menzies steaming onto the ball. Comes to the Sheffield defence, takes the dummy there, Bright Sodgy. And this Menzies definitely looking for a place in the second test. A lovely ball back inside from Walters. And Australia now just put an exhibition on of power play, and a great try from Steve Menzies.
Yeah, you've got to say he shouldn't have got there really, with all those tacklers around him. But as you can see from that, he is an established try scorer. He takes some stopping. He's got to convert this one, and he does. And it's 44-2 now. Another for Wishart. Well, I suppose the big question, Gary, is Langer or Stewart for the second test.
Well, that's one for Bobby Fulton, but the way Ricky Stewart's played tonight, he's definitely reminded Bobby Fulton that he's the #1 scrummer. And the way that he's played, especially after the first 20 minutes, once Australia settled down, and Ricky Stewart's been involved in 5 or 6 Australian tries, and he's got to be the favourite for the second test.
I think Alan Langer, watching in the stands tonight, will be a little worried. Easy take by Brasher, who switched to full-back since the withdrawal of Mullins. Hill, still over 20 minutes left in this second half. You really do fear what the final score might be. The record for Australia is 92 points to 7. I don't think they'll get up to that. That was against Bramley all of 60-odd years ago. 70-odd years ago. 73 to be exact. Lazarus. It's a good pick-up. Florimo, he really has been impressive since he's come on, and Florimo's there, is he? No, he's a yard out. He seems desperately keen to score tries, and Lazarus might get one now. Lazarus with a little back flip, keeps the move going fairly. He's not got a try since the opening match of the tour, and he's a yard out, and they really won't hold them here, and that's another one. The Australians burrowing their way over for the score. Walters, Steve Walters this time, his second of the night, and well, they're coming in at will now.
Well, it's all just sustained pressure from Australia, just a basic simple try for Walters here. But initially it was all started where Sheffield just give the indisciplined penalty away, and Lazarus and Fairley just making the inroads, and Walters, well, just diving down low for a simple basic try.
Well, it's a typical hooker score, that isn't it?
Well, it's a second for the night for Steve Walters, but he won't be complaining whether he scores them from 2 yards or whether he scores them from 22 yards. He'll still be very happy.
And this should bring up the half century. 50 it is. Wishart's points total is mounting as well. 7 conversions for him now, 14 more points. And, Walter's second try enabling Wishart to post his 20th goal of the tour. When I arrived tonight, the gateman said they were just hoping that Sheffield would put on a good, creditable performance, but I'm afraid now they are being run absolutely ragged. Being tormented, and they'll be tormented even further now. Menz is playing out of the left wing. That's the thing with these Australians, they're all sort of interchangeable as far as positions are concerned.
Well, that's a sign, not only of a good sign, but also to have a well-balanced side, and what a formidable side that is Steve Menz has been on the wing.
Oh, Wendell Saylor slipped this one for Brasher. He's only got the one man to beat, and Brasher might make it all the way here, pursued by Sodje. Great ball inside. That's an absolutely super score for Ettingshausen. They are being torn asunder, Sheffield Eagles. Wings, I'm afraid, have been firmly clipped.
Well, this is sensational player from Australia. Wyndon Saylor just showing there what sort of Kangaroo league player he is. Lovely ball to Brasher, and Ettinghausen always in support. Lovely fend off there for the Sheffield winger, and Ettinghausen sensational try. But this is exhibition stuff from Australia. Great ball again. That man Ricky Stewart sending a couple of dummies, and Wyndon Saylor, lovely ball to Brasher. And he put a step down on the gas, going round Bright Sodje. Again, Brasher showing he's no slouch, and Sodje just coming in over there, but a lovely ball at Ettinghausen, in support as usual, and a great try.
Wishart attempting his 8th success. He's not tiring, is he? Oh, super kick. You tend to overlook the goal kicking. I mean, the tries have been magnificent, but Wishart's goal kicking superb.
Well, it's exhibition rugby league, and also to its exhibition goal kicking, isn't it? And Rod Wishart, he's another one trying to make a case for himself to be in that second test, and with added advantage of kicking goals, I'm sure he's reminding Bobby Fulton that he's around for the second test.
8 goals from him. Desperate night for Sheffield Eagles. They conceded 55 points to Australia 2 years ago. They've conceded 56 already tonight, but they've got a penalty here. And Walters thinks that's funny. Look on his face. And, Farrell's taken over kicking duties with Maiko off. And obviously they've missed the experience of lads like Darryl Powell and Lee Jackson tonight.
Yeah, they've missed them 2 players not just for the experience, but the craft that they've got, and also to with Darryl Powell organising skills. That's what they've missed badly tonight.
They're grounded. This is almost the first time, I would think, in the second half that they've been inside that Australian 25. And unfortunately, a slip there from Carr, but he's still going. He's a spirited lad. Oh, that's good, and they might get something now. Ian Hughes carrying the fight to Australia. Is this the moment for the Sheffield Eagles? Along the line it goes. If they can get it out to that left quickly, there might be something on. They've got to get the speed merchants like Soji into it. And this is a test for Australia's defence, and I'm sure they will want to keep their line intact. It's a matter of pride for them. Oh, Sailor took that. Quarter of an hour to go. Where's my shirt gone? Well, no wonder the laddie wanted to wear an Australian shirt rather than a red one.
Well, it was a great take there from Wyndon Sailor, and Linton's got there, just making sure Wyndon Sailor wasn't going to go the length. And a great tackle there, great enthusiasm from the youngster.
Where's my shirt?
You could buy one for £35.95.
You've obviously got a couple.
And I think it could be signed by Wyndon Sailor too. I'm sure he'd oblige.
I'm sure he would. They've been good tourings side, haven't they? Wendell Sailor might get down the touchline this time. On he goes. The ball inside from him. Wendell Sailor was expected by many to be the sensation of this tour.
Yeah, it was. It just seemed to, as it settled down, just but he's been sin-bin for a bit of back chat.
Well, Sailor's off for 10 minutes. I mean, just come on.
Well, Wyndon Sailor passed the ball back inside. I don't think he was impressed by what Ray Tennant was saying to him about the decision, and Wyndon Sailor's had a few quiet words back to the referee and he's put him in the sin bin.
Walters. Taken by Brasher. Kevin Walters, acting halfback, comes from a place in Brisbane called Ipswich. Kick from Stewart, the cross kick's too long. Well, Sheffield really do have to make some ground. They're finding it almost impossible to get out of their own half at the moment. Here is Boothroyd. Oh, and the ball lost in the tackle and picked up by Menzies, and Menzies again runs at this Sheffield defence, and Menzies through. Yet another score. Steve Menzies over.
Well, Sheffield on the top of the 22 after that kick from Ricky Stewart. They're just spilling the ball in the first tackle. And Steve Menzies, well, you stop there. Expected to bring a big man down like Menzies, and just really impossible for him. And Menzies going over for his second try. But Sheffield just spilling the ball in the first tackle. Here we see there from the tap. Menzies picking it up, just showing a few dummies and just going at Ian Stott, just going too high for him there. And Richard Price, main tackle, but the pressure just totally put back on himself by spilling the ball on the first tackle.
Wishart must be losing count of the number of kicks he's getting, and they're nearly all successful ones as well, which makes the scoreline all the worse from Sheffield Eagles' point of view. 62-2. Well, Menzies certainly has made a good addition to his CV this evening. Walters, great ball, Brasher up the middle. He's looking for his second. Oh, Wishart's going to get a try as well to go with all his goals now, and he knows that he's got the chance to pop it straight between the posts. That's why he ran right through the middle. Well, it's getting embarrassing. Yet another try.
Well, this game is turning out for the Rod Wishart show, but great player again from Australia. Ricky Stewart passing them, and this half-back partnership between Ricky Stewart and Kevin Walters tearing Sheffield apart. Great support play from Timmy Brasher, and as you expect Australia to do, always 2 or 3 minutes support. And Wishart, well, he's got pace to burn, hasn't it? There's only one way he was going to go, and it's turning out to be the Rod Wishart show tonight with the goal kicks, sensational goal kicks, and the tries that he's scoring. But Sheffield just not moving up in defence. 2 lovely balls from the half-backs, just taking the dummies, standing up in the tackle. Brasher, as all great full-backs do, inside Wishart. And let's watch him go to them H's. That's a great try from Rod Wishart.
Well, needless to say, he tagged on 2 more points with the goal kick as well. And we're rapidly losing count of how many points he's got, but the Rod Wishart must now be challenging the record. Acting half-back Walters. Stewart switches play cleverly, lovely long ball, and Jason Smith, out it goes for Ettingshausen. Well, it's gone beyond a question of pride for Sheffield Eagles. I'm afraid that's been badly dented. Steve Walters still gets the pass away for Lazarus, and Lazarus will plunder his way on. He's not yet figured on the score sheet. Ettingshausen acting half-back. Ricky Stewart, it's so simple, it's becoming an absolute doddle. It really is embarrassing, and this one it's Kevin Walters over this time. So both the brothers are on the score sheet.
Well, the 2 half-backs tonight for Australia, Ricky Stewart and Kevin Walters, have been sensational. But Glenn Lazarus again making the inroads. Ricky Stewart going towards the defensive line, sees his half-back partner inside, and Kevin Walters, lovely sidestep. Well, all too easy.
You won't be surprised to know that Wishart kicked the goal. So it's 74 points to 2. Struggling to keep up with it. We're inside the last 60 seconds. And, is there time for the Australian touring side to get just one more try? There is. It's Ettingshausen. This is it. This is going to be number 80 in terms of points. He's got to go 80 yards to get the 80th point. A forlorn chase by Linton Stott. Australia have scored 80 points. They have absolutely destroyed Sheffield Eagles, and Ettingshausen has his 2nd hat-trick of the tour.
Well, Sheffield's Ryan Sheridan put the kick through there, but Australia counter-attack very well. Ricky Stewart, who surely has to be the man of the match tonight for Australia. Lovely ball to Ettingshausen. Well, E.T. must be the quickest man on the pitch, and watch him go here. Going straight for the corner, but sees the Sheffield cover, can't get over to him, and going straight to the post. And well, another great Australian try tonight. They have put on a marvellous exhibition of rugby league on tonight.
3 more for E.T. 2 more points for Wishart. And, well, there it is. I was getting ahead of myself. It's 80 now. Wishart's got a lot of those points. It can't be more comprehensive than that, and they have come back with a bang after the disappointment of Wembley. Sheffield Eagles 2, Australia 80. Let's join Nick Powell on the touchline.
Right, 28 points, congratulations.
Well, I didn't really know, but yeah, that's a good score, I suppose, and I've got to give credit to all the boys. I didn't do that much. I just kicked the goals. In the second half, we really found our 3rd gear, and you know, all the credit goes to you know, the 17 guys I think that ended up playing on the field.
But we Brits have been saying you Australians can't kick, but you proved that wrong tonight.
Yeah, well, I think from a couple of years back, I think the Australian kickers have really worked hard on their kicking, and it's something that you know, is very valuable to a team, and you know, you've got to put the work in, and I think it really pays off if you put that practice in.
Well done, thanks very much.
Thank you.
Cheers.
See you later.
Well, the Eagles well and truly grounded. 14 tries, 12 goals, 80 points the sum total. Sheffield Eagles 2, Australia 80.